What's up, Geminites? It's your boy Gem Mint back with another omnibus review. Just got done reading Heroes Reborn. There's probably going to be some mild spoilers for like Onslaught, and I might talk a little bit spoilers here on this book, but I don't think it's going to ruin the experience. So stay tuned and check it out. Alright guys, so Heroes Reborn. This follows the aftermath of the Onslaught Marvel event that happened in the late 90s. Basically what happened was, not only were the Avengers, Fantastic Four, Iron Man, and all of our heroes no longer currently in the Marvel Universe, their runs ended as well. So all those big volumes of Avengers, of Fantastic Four, that started at issue 1 in the 60s, they all ended. So Heroes Reborn, it's not only the return of the heroes into the Marvel Universe, it's the return of new ongoing volumes, and it's the return of Marvel artists that left Marvel to go found Image. So we have Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, Jim Valentino. Starting with this book, I just kind of picked it up. I was up in here, I was bored, I didn't really plan on reading it, and I started flipping through it. And right away, you get the Liefeld Captain America run. Everybody knows that one Captain America image that they say is like the worst comic piece of art of all time. That was part of a promo ad or whatever. So the Captain America run was pretty cool. It's basically a reboot, and all of these titles are reboots. Fantastic Four, Iron Man, Avengers, and Captain America. It feels like reading the Ultimate Universe, but this is before the Ultimate Universe. So it was a retelling of an origin for Cap, which, you know, they kind of it was like my least favorite one out of the book. The Liefeld Cap stuff was my least favorite. But then you get to Fantastic Four, drawn by Jim Lee, and I'm like, damn, I don't ever see images of Jim Lee Fantastic Four. But we'll flip through the book, and it's awesome, man. His Doom is awesome, his Thing. That didn't sound right. But anyway, artwork is great, and the Fantastic Four, there's only 12 issues of all these titles in here. They crammed like the first 50-something issues of the Silver Age Fantastic Four into this 12-issue series. You get the introduction with them getting their powers, and Mole Man, and you get the Namor stuff, Doom, Silver Surfer Galactus, you get all of the Heralds, you get Black Panther, you get the Inhumans, and then in the Iron Man stuff, which has got Jim Lee art as well, and Liefeld art, looks awesome. You get his kind of retelling of his origin, Happy Hogan stuff. You get kind of Iron Man is the bodyguard of Tony Stark, Pepper Potts, and then the Incredible Hulk stuff is kind of peppered throughout the titles, kind of similar to like how the MCU does it actually. Now, somewhere along the lines, I think Marvel wanted to call an audible and say, well, we don't want to really make this canon moving forward. And this is where we might get into some mild spoilers here. But they kind of make a loophole that this Heroes Reborn universe is actually a different universe than the Marvel 616. So in the 616, all these heroes are dead, and you still have ongoing titles like X-Men and Spider-Man, and even Incredible Hulk. So the first kind of tie-in here is that Hulk knows something is going on in the 616. He's like separated from Banner, and then you start getting the Thors merging, and then you have a two Thors kind of crossover here. That's where they kind of lost it on here and made this feel like it's not really worth it. We basically end with a big Galactus Showdown, which I thought played out kind of odd, to be honest. But I think this book was a gem in its artwork, no pun intended. Well, I guess you can intend it. Jim Lee's stuff was awesome, and they only really did like the first half of the runs, then they start getting picked up by other artists, and then you have Liefeld and Jim Lee just contributing to the plot. The Captain America stuff deals a lot with the World Party and even the Serpent Society, taking down like a lot of racist type of organizations. The Avengers stuff, you get a big Loki showdown right in the beginning. Kind of reminds me of like that there was maybe inspiration for the MCU out of this book. But the Loki stuff, it's cool to see Hank Pym making Ultron and Ultron evolving, and you know he's going to become a bad Ultron, and you know they don't see it yet in the story. Hawkeye is a little weird. He kind of looks just like Wolverine. He even has like a yellow and brown costume. He ends up getting his purple costume, but very Wolverine-esque with the big kind of wings here and a black mask underneath. Hawkeye's kind of a badass. Even the fact that Scarlet Witch and Hawkeye kind of get possessed by Enchantress reminds me of the MCU Avengers when Hawkeye gets possessed by Loki. I don't think you're ever really reading this for the storytelling. It's mostly you're reading this for the art and kind of a retelling, reboot of the origin of these flagship titles. We'll flip through the artwork now, which is where it shines, and I'll give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Alright, first let's take a good look at the dust jacket. You can see you got a nice double-page spread here. It tells you what's collected on the bottom. So you have Heroes Reborn 1/2, then Cap 1 through 12, Avengers, Fantastic Four, and Iron Man 1 through 12. Then some material from Hulk 450, which is, like I said, the first kind of inkling that we're dealing with an alternate universe here. This came with a $125 cover price, and I got it discounted 50% off when it first came out. So, the creators, like I said, you have Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, Whilce Portacio, Jim Valentino. You had Brendan Choi, Jeff Loeb, Scott Lobdell, and Walter Simonson. You had a lot, Joe Bennett. Then you have the actual hardcover as a wraparound cover, the Virgin cover, if you will. And it gives you kind of an idea of what the artwork will look like. I'm not sure who drew this. If it was, looks like it's Liefeld. Even Cap with wearing the wings, he's a part of S.H.I.E.L.D. at first, then he ditches that and just does the A. Kind of reminds me of like the Cap arc in the MCU. So here we go. That's Liefeld, I believe. So Liefeld's art is a little bit hit or miss here. Here's Liefeld cover. See, the anatomy on that Cap was okay. Alright, so let's jump into Cap 1. So they let Liefeld set off the book with his Captain America run. Here you go, starts with issue 1. So it was okay. I mean, Cap, they kind of went a little bit different than being just frozen and found. I'm not really going to talk too much about it, but they give us a couple of Cap issues. You got Crossbones there on the cover. You got Red Skull. He actually, Liefeld did a really good Red Skull. Liefeld had a lot of vertical panels that you had to turn upside down. You get Thor comes back. Let's see. Okay, then we have Fantastic Four #1. So Jim Lee, Fantastic Four. So Jim Lee doing the plot in pencils, but then he doesn't end up doing the pencils for the end of the run. So like I said, you get like everything kind of, I don't want to say crammed because I think it worked, but in the 12 issues, what the Silver Age one did over like 52 issues. In space, and you got Mole Man. Like I said, Jim Lee's The Thing looks great. And then they all tie into each other too, all these runs. You got Avengers. You get Enchantress, Loki. Here's Hulk. So the thing about Hulk, which is kind of odd, is that he's naked the entire time and he has long hair. Which I guess they were going for a little bit more realism. That was Iron Man 1. Here's Iron Man 2. He has pants on the cover, but inside, trust me, he ain't got no pants. Different design for Iron Man. I thought it was cool. I'm trying to remember, is this Jim Lee that did the pencils here? No. Will Portacio pencils here. Look, they look great, though. I mean, the artwork is good. A lot of big, huge panels. This book definitely deserved the omnibus style because there's a lot of pages where it's just artwork. Look at this. Hulk. I like the Hulk stuff. A lot of Hulk vs. Thor, Hulk vs. Thing. I think it worked really well. He goes Black Panther introduced early on. Look at this. Jim Lee, Human Torch, and Thing. Come on, man. Look at that artwork. Super Scroll. They crammed him in there. Doom. Oh, I gotta find more Doom, man. Here's Hulk naked again. Doom. A little flashback to Onslaught. This is Ricky Barnes. Little Avengers team up page here. Fantastic Four 7. You already got Wolverine on the front here. Jim Lee and Scott Williams, Fantastic Four pinup. Look at that. So I was pleasantly surprised by this book, man. I've heard mixed reviews on Heroes Reborn. And I mean, what's wrong with having a quick retelling of an origin with great artwork? Doom looking pretty dope. I like how they made Doom was like in college with Reed, with Tony Stark and Bruce Banner. They were Knights of the Atomic Round Table. Jim Lee Wizard cover. I think the final arc with Galactus here kind of got a little sloppy with like what Doctor Doom's role was in there. But it was cool. Like they had 4 connecting cover variants for issues 12. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Silver Surfer. I think it's at the end of this it shows. Yeah, see, here you go. The issues 12, which I don't know. I'm not sure if they all ended on issue 12. I mean, that's where the omnibus ends. But Heroes United, which is a 4-part versus Galactus thing. And it was cool. Thing versus Hulk was good. You get the idea. Alright guys, so that is the Heroes Reborn Omnibus review. Again, spoilerish, but I don't think that should deter you from reading this book. I think it's a good pickup for the artwork alone. And like I said, it's a reboot, a retelling of these characters. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. Make sure to hit that like button before you leave. And make sure that you're subscribed to the channel for more daily content, which can be omnibus reviews or hauls, weekly comic book reviews, statue unboxings, and more. So stay tuned and stay minty fresh. Peace.